Hello, peace and blessings. I'm Jovhannah, the spiritual love healer, founder of Healing Single Mothers. And we're getting ready to go into a new month, so I wanted to do a reading for the month of February just to give some overall guidance and support. So I will be using one of my newer decks, which is the Cosmic Visions Tarot, which is an absolutely beautiful deck. I found it on Kickstarter and backed the campaign and just received it a week or so ago. I really love this deck. It is so gorgeous. So as I want to share something with you that I have experienced recently, like regarding boundaries. I've been dealing with this ongoing issue, and I'm kind of on vacation, and I don't know where I got a message from this person, and it infuriated me at first. Like I felt a lot of anxiety. My heart was just racing and just felt a lot of frustration and anger bubbling up. So I took a pause and just shut everything down and just like really placed my hand over my heart and just started breathing and releasing and feeling into anything like, what is this? Why is this coming up? And why do I feel this way? And what do I need to do? And what I want to share is, like, when you set boundaries, it's so important. It is equally important to let go of things that don't serve you, that are not sustaining you, that are not adding value or support or anything in your life. Because the more that we let these things stay, the more that it's going to grow or infect other areas of your life. So if you think about it, like if you buy, a basket of strawberries and one strawberry has mold, eventually that mold is going to continue to spread to the other ones unless you take it out. So it's kind of the same thing. And so when this person, they text me, and I wasn't even sure, like, okay, am I gonna respond? How do I want to? And I'm sorry, my door is open a little bit, so you might hear cars going by. How do I wanna handle this? And I sat with it for a minute, and I'm like, no, like, they don't have the right to contact me via my personal phone. So I sent a very professional message that said, cease and desist contacting me by phone and text. If you need to communicate with me for any reason, please do so using the email address that I provided. Very corporate, very professional, very devoid of feelings, just straight facts. This is how you need to contact me, and this is how I'm dealing with you because of the situation at hand. And so I don't want to get into the situation right now. Once everything is tied up and over with, then I will explain more, because it actually ties into the work that I do for Healing Single Mothers. And so yeah, we'll get into that later. But the response, and I didn't read the whole response, but I was able to see the preview message, and it was like, I don't know what all the hostility is for. And I was like, wow, to myself, like, who knew that setting boundaries makes you a hostile person? Like, in no way did I cuss. I didn't go off, didn't say F you, nothing of this sort. I literally said, cease and desist contacting me by phone and text. If you need to contact me, you can do so using my email. So it's just very interesting how when you set boundaries, people take it as a threat. They take it as, you doing something harmful or malicious. And this is exactly why we need boundaries. Not to mention, this was a man. And a lot of men, especially, like to not know where all of this is coming from. It's just very interesting. Like, they don't tend to respect boundaries, which is why, the whole Me Too movement and all of that. But he continued to text, I think, a couple more times after that. And I did not respond. I just swiped the notifications away. And then eventually he did respond by email. But that, like, really infuriated me. And it's just important for you to know that you have the right to set boundaries, hard line boundaries, and to let go of things that do not serve you, whatever it may be. A lot of times, like I know even when I was working back in corporate America and I really wanted to leave my job, but I was like, oh, I can't, I have this baby, I gotta, I need to keep working until this date or this time. But I knew in my mind that it was over. And it's like if we stay in things that we know we need to let go of, whether it's relationships, whether it's a friendship, whether it's our relationship with money, our relationship with food, how we care for or don't care for ourselves, we can stay in these patterns or cycles that hurt us, that don't serve us. And it's so important, more so now, that you start to identify those things and weed them out of your life. Because the more you sit in it, the longer you're going to stay there. It's going to become comfortable to you. It's going to be harder to move out of those situations. And here's the thing, stepping outside of your comfort zone, setting boundaries, telling people no when you've always said yes, deciding that you're going to, find a new job, start a new business, leave a relationship, start a relationship, start working out. Whatever it is that you're deciding that you are going to do or not do, it's going to be uncomfortable, because change itself is uncomfortable. It's getting you out of your normal routine, getting you out of your normal habits, and it's forcing you to do things differently. And we can shut down because we don't like that. We don't like not knowing what's on the other side of a situation, even if the situation that we're currently in is not a good one. So I just really wanted to share that with you, and I hope that motivates you in some way not to settle, to be very clear about what it is that you want and need, and to also advocate for yourself. Know that settling is not an option, that you have the right, the ability to live abundantly ever after, whatever that might look like for you, and that you go for it without fear. Just go for it. Move in the direction of your dreams. I think one of the posts I shared, let me see if I can find it. It was a journal prompt. At the end of this year, I will have accomplished, and then you start writing. December 31st, 2021, I accomplished this year, and whatever it is that you want, you start writing it down, and then let that be your guide for this year. Once you know, like, okay, these are the things that I want to have accomplished. Now you kind of have a map to guide your steps, to guide your actions, to help you make decisions, to help you push through when times feel really hard, when things are difficult. You can use that journal entry, that map, that guidebook to help you navigate and know what it is that you need to do. So I've pulled a few cards here. So let's get into, let's see, the energy of February 2020. Actually, I want to use one of my goddess guidance cards. This is one of my favorite oracle decks. I've had it for such a long time. It's just a beautiful deck to work with. I've probably had it, I know it's been over 10 years. It's definitely been over 10 years. I keep my decks in really good condition because these are treasured tools. And I believe this particular deck is no longer available in print. So let's look at the theme. Ooh, yes. The theme for February is all about prosperity. I love this. So this is Goddess Abundantia. The universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. So just like I was talking about setting boundaries and getting outside of your comfort zone, if you want to welcome in new things, if you want to welcome in prosperity, if you want that abundantly ever after, you have to be open to receiving it. And sometimes that means we have to get out of our own way. We have to start doing things differently. We have to start saying different prayers. We have to start hanging around different people, experiencing different materials. Maybe you need to change up the people you're following on social media. Maybe you need to start reading books, watch less TV, go outside more. Whatever it is on a larger or smaller scale, there's something that wants to come your way. And we also have the Ace of Pentacles, which is another card that represents abundance, blessings, prosperity coming your way. So what I'm feeling too, right? So we have the World. This is the first card that came out. The World represents, it's the last card in the major arcana. It represents the end of cycles. It's a card of completion. So that energy of feeling stuck, of settling for less, old stories that you may have been telling yourself, all of that, it's coming to an end. There is something new that's about to emerge. You are done with that story and with that cycle, and you're going into another cycle. Now, whether or not you catch this wave of prosperity truly depends on how you act to new information and where your mindset is. So here we have the Son of Swords. The Sword suit is all about communication. It's about your thought process. And this card, to me, when I see the Son of Swords, is always about how are you going to act or integrate the knowledge that you've received. And so as he's swinging that sword, I'm thinking about all of the things that we need to cut out of our lives in order to welcome in this abundance, in order to honor the closing of a cycle, and to welcome in the blessings and prosperity that you truly desire and deserve. So when I'm looking at this month, I'm not sure how your month of January has been. Mine's has been intense, very challenging. I had a lot of major things happen that really sat me down and forced me into a place of needing to heal. And so that's in part why I took this little getaway as well. But what I had to realize is there was a lot of things that came to an end in my life. And it really shifted my mindset and how I look at things. And so taking the energy from these cards, right? Knowing that, okay, it's time to start thinking differently. It's time to start acting differently. Maybe you get an idea. Something's like, hey, go, I don't know, sign up for a budgeting course, and you do it. So there's certain things that you're going to need to take action on, new ideas. Start thinking differently, start having different conversations, change up the things that you consume. This comes up so much, especially in the last couple of years, where the things that you're consuming on media, on TV, the things that you're reading, your books, your magazine, all of that stuff is feeding you in some way. And if it's not beneficial, then maybe it's time to change it up. Maybe you just need to spend less time on social media altogether. Find different ways to use your time that's really going to help open up the doors to abundance so that you can really walk through them and be in a state of receiving. Now, here's the thing. And in the next few days, starting February 1st, I will be doing a series called 14 Days of Love. So we're going to be talking about love and relationships and things like that. And one of the things that is very connected is abundance and love, right? They're very much intertwined and connected. And to receive, we have to have an open heart and also an open mind. So some of this is going to mean that there is healing work that needs to be done. There are cycles, and I feel like you know what these things are. Maybe they are old stories that, I'm not worthy. Or, old stories that, my relationships never work out. Or if I get into another relationship, I'm going to be heartbroken. So whatever those stories are, it's time to put them to rest. It's time to close those books and start writing a new one. And one of the things that I would recommend you do is to get a journal. Get a journal, piece of paper, notebook, whatever, and start writing out, how can I be more open to blessings? What stories do I need to release? What cycles in my life are needing to be complete or are coming into completion? Oh, speaking of cycles, so we're moving into Mercury Retrograde. We're already in the shadow phase, which is usually about 2 to 3 weeks before and after the actual planets get stationed in retrograde, which I believe is January 30th, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of times you'll start to see old stuff kicking up dust again in your life. In the past few days, I've had I've had people reach out to me, like this issue that needs to come to completion with this person that I'm dealing with that got kicked back up. Someone from my past, a couple people from my past have reached out. You may notice that you are sliding back into old habits and patterns. So just be mindful around this time. What's coming back up in your life? And how do you need to deal with it? Because sometimes it is about honoring those things and saying, okay, yes, like there's something here for me. And sometimes it's about releasing these things, saying, oh, wow, like, no, I want this cycle. I want this relationship. I want this connection. I want this habit. I need this to be over so that I can welcome something new in my life. During this period of time, it's almost like if you invite the past back in, then you kind of go back into the same old stuff. And then instead of you going into a new cycle of completion, you're restarting a cycle. So with the World card, I feel like this is a very big urge to be mindful of the themes, the themes, the people, the habits, the actions, the thoughts that are coming up into your life, so you can intentionally close those things out, bring closure to those things, and find peace within them for yourself, so that you're not having to go back through those situations and relearn those same lessons over and over again. So once you decide that you're going to say goodbye to the struggle, goodbye to the pain, that is when, you know, this Ace of Pentacles, things start to open up and blossom for you on a very intense and deep level. So this is like saying, yes, I welcome in abundance. Yes, I welcome in peace. Yes, I welcome in love. Yes, I welcome in my abundantly ever after. So what do you need to say yes to in order for that to happen? And how can you be open to receiving these things so that it can happen? So those are some of the things that you can journal on, get some clarity around, to really help you move forward in the month of February. So I hope that this reading has provided you with a little bit of inspiration and guidance in your month ahead. For ongoing guidance and support, I do think you should check out the Healing Single Mothers Spiritual Journal at healingsinglemothers.com/journal. Inside each month there is a theme. There is space for journaling. There are healing tools, space for you to really set your goals and intentions for the year, and so much more inside. Grab yours. It's available in PDF form and also in paperback on Amazon. So again, you can find it at healingsinglemothers.com/journal. And I hope that I will see you again soon, and have an amazing month ahead. Peace.